Fine. Hey! Hey! Bye-bye!
There's something wrong with you. What's going on? Maybe... You serious? That was close. Hey, hey, hey!
Huh? Are you serious?
Huh? Hey. Yeah. Hey. Of course not! I see. That's right! This is bad. Huh? Hey, hey, hey! I mean...
You.
Obviously.
All right! I knew you could do it!
However, I am concerned. Please wait. However, well? Hajime. See? Well? You... Well? See?
I've been found!
Yo. Well. Damn right. Huh. Later. Huh.
Huh?
Like... Now then.
However...
Well.
Huh?
Well, yeah. Hey!
That's wrong. Please wait!
I'm starting to get pumped up.
Hey! Whoa! Damn it! I won't be fooled!
Settle down! Listen!
Oh my!
Well? You insolent fool!
Man. Such despair. Jeez.
That is...
Now then. Well... You...
Huh?
How about it? What?
It's not making sense!
Jeez. Right? Huh?
That is an order!
That's right!
Well?
This is troubling. Well... Actually... What?
Please wait!
This is exciting! You... Now then.
Could it be?
Bye now. Are you kidding me? That's right!
Oh.
I'll show you my serious side.
I'm here too.
Huh? Actually...
Ahem! Hope speak.
Eat well, shit well.
For now... You know, right?
It cannot be.
Hey, bastard! Ah... All right! You... Of course!
Hey, hey.
Hey! Right! Jeez, you're pathetic. You know, right?
No way. So...
Hey, hey! Well... Hey, hey! You... Hey!
Oh.
All right! For now.
Bow down!
Whoa!
Listen!
Miss Sonia?
You must not! That is an order! I'll leave that matter to your discretion.
Damn it! What did you say? Damn it! Huh?
Danganronpa.
However, however, please wait. Well, I am concerned. You are wrong.
you could do it.
Danganronpa.
For
I knew you could do it.
danganronpa.
You! I knew you could do it!
Danganronpa.
That's not it. Well... Hey. I see. Right? Now. Someone like me. See?
Alright, I got him!
What are you doing?
Don't judge us for this, but we're gonna tie you up.
Tie me up?
There's no use struggling!
But I'm not struggling.
What the hell?
right?
That's right! Too bad!
Yo. Huh. This is bad. Damn it!
However,
Hey.
I mean,
Isn't that right? Man. You. Now. I'm glad.
hey!
Well,
Pissed me. I'll beat you up!
hey! Yep. Hey.
Wow.
hey,
See? You.
Huh?
You.
Bastard!
everyone!
Hmm.
Please listen! So just as I thought,
Well.
Huh?
Hey! Like,
hey,
are we screwed? Jeez. Dumbass.
You.
Well.
lies!
like...
Could it be?
Whoa!
Like... That is... Hey, hey. So...
Even so.
I won't forgive you.
Unforgivable.
Perhaps...
Don't tell me.
You.
Oh. Hey.
Damn it!
Hey.
Playtime's over. Now, where'd you hide the bombs?
That hurts. But I'll never tell. If you really want me to spit it out,
Huh?
maybe you can stab my fingers with that fork over there. If you're not willing to fill me with despair, there's no way.
That's fine with me.
Hey, hey. This is bad.
Calm down, okay? You wouldn't do something like that, right? You're not the kind of person who would hurt someone, right? See, it's all right. Yep, no problem.
That's weird.
Hey, hey! Thanks. Huh? Wow.
Then,
Huh? You're right. Well... Jeez.
hey, hey.
I'm glad. Well... Amazing! Bastard! Hey. See? This is exciting! Damn it! Dumbass!
Oh. You are right.
I mean... Shut the hell up!
Damn it.
Leave it to me!
Anyway...
Got it? That's right!
Too bad! Yes, indeed!
What happened? Yep. My! I am concerned. Huh? You are right. I am sorry!
Hello there.
Perhaps.
You pissed me off.
Hey, bastard!
Now then.
Leave it to me!
Well...
Don't tell me... Hey, hey!
Yeah!
You...
Hey, hey. See?
Hey, hey, hey!
You think so?
Hey! Anyway... Hey, hey, hey! Huh? Well... Ah! What'd you say?
Huh?
Are you kidding me?
You serious?
Damn it.
Are you serious?
Huh? Damn it! Are you kidding me?
It is all right. It is not a bomb.
Huh? Oh my!
Huh?
Hey, hey.
Damn it! Don't tell me...
You pissed me off.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
I won't forgive you.
Huh?
Now then. Huh? Yo! Leave it to me! Huh?
Hey, hey!
You!
What?
Huh? Yo!
It sure is dark.
Looks like there aren't any lights on. Is Nagito really in here?
Hey, do you guys hear something?
Yeah, it's really damn loud. Does Nagito like listening to this depressing crap?
No, I'm not talking about the music.
It's on fire! Whoa! What's going on?
For now, we must extinguish these flames! Let us hurry and put them out!
Hey!
Well?
It's raining?
So this is the power of the Japanese Terra.
That's not it. It looks like the sprinkler's activated.
Oh, the sprinklers. Hey, hey.
Just a minute. Hey,
Hey, hey!
I am sorry!
You serious? Like...
Hey, hey. See?
serious?
A body has been discovered! Now then, after a certain amount of time has passed, the class trial will begin!
Don't tell me.
Hey!
Damn it!
That's right.
Of course! Hey! Hey! Shing! Wait! Damn it! You stupid brother! Got it? Hey, hey! What's this? Like...
Please wait! Hey. This is just...
Nice!
Don't fuck with me.
feeling so. Damn it!
Well? It cannot be! How cruel! You are right.
What's this? Phew! Hey! Hey! What? What the hell?
This is bad.
See? minute. Amazing! All right. Easy as pie.
Enough already! Hey!
I see. However...
Who knows? What?
Please wait.
No!
I see.
Wait. Hey, hey. Huh? You're right. My profile is really in here, but unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any details.
Details?
Details about our missing memories. Information about the time we spent at Hope's Peak Academy. If it's not written in there, these profiles might have been written before we entered the academy.
Man, it's impossible to obtain new clues from them.
Yeah, seems like it. Huh?
The file. His name isn't in there, right? There's supposed to be 16 names worth of profiles, but his name is the only one missing, right?
Who are you talking about?
Byakuya. I'm talking about Byakuya Togame. Look carefully. No matter where I look, I don't see his name anywhere.
No way! Too bad. You're getting all riled up. What the heck?
Perhaps.
So cool!
But still. Oh.
Anyway... That's right! No, no! Shing! Phew!
all right!
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class. Oh my, mon ami? You've ascended the ladder. Shit! One more.
That traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it! Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up?
What were they trying to find out by torturing? Definitely the bomb's hiding place.
If so, is whoever found the bomb?
That was Fuyuhika.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to I'm telling you, they were
The reason Nagito's body was
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared. Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't, but that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him...
Damn it!
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assumed he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down! What if you tape his mouth shut? How is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got in. Then, after they killed him...
Allow me to cut through those words! No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
What did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Haji-Man? You have a crush on him or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were...
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
We can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect. Alrighty then, let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is! The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door could help intense wind pressure to tip over the lighter.
The direct cause of the oil lighter found
The killer used something, lit the curtain on.
some kind of setup.
Did they use the oil?
They probably just based on the shape of it can stand up
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
some way.
Maybe they used invisible.
There should have been a way to tip it over with
Or perhaps opening the door.
I agree with that.
I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure. A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
So the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter.
Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
You don't mean...
Hajime? What do you mean?
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible. Actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with it. It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms... No, that's wrong!
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
I see!
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, the sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know.
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
Hajime,
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
if it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If you threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that. The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma...
A bleeding plushie is super scary!
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution. If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need to record it. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
But it's just as Monokuma said. This might...
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times... I did say difficult, but I never said impossible. I feel that there's... some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone, working together.
All right, let's do this.
How did Nagito stab himself with a spear? Let's work together and think this through.
When the spear stabbed Nagito, his right hand was covered by the knife, right?
He was only able to move his left hand.
But his left hand was also tied up.
Then that rules out his left hand.
No, that's wrong!
Hold on. It's still too early to dismiss the possibility that he used his left hand.
Why? I mean, his left hand was tied up, you know?
But there was something off about his left hand. The bloodstain on the palm of his hand. Don't you think it looked somewhat strange? He only had blood on the lower area of his palm. Beyond that point, the bloodstain suddenly cuts off, right?
When the blood splattered, that's as far as it reached, right?
That settles the description of that bloodstain, but it's not the only unnatural bloodstain. Look, there's blood on the back of his hand, around the middle joints of his fingers.
Like you said, it looks like an unnatural bloodstain, but what's wrong with that?
We might need to think and use our imaginations for a bit. If there's blood on his palm and the back of his hand, what was his left hand doing as the blood splattered?
I see! When the blood splattered, he was probably gripping with his left hand. That's why there's such a strange-looking bloodstain on his palm and the back of his hand.
Was he grabbing his front tail?
Perish the thought! He was obviously grabbing the spear!
Now that you mention it, compared to the rest of his body, the wounds on his left arm are pretty mild. He probably made his wounds mild on purpose, so he could keep his strength while he gripped the spear.
But even if he held the spear with his tied-up left hand, it'd be impossible for him to stab himself.
Hey, Chiaki, what do you think? Hey, don't tell me you're getting sleepy.
At times like this, you should always strike from a good angle, just like fixing an old TV.
Oh, I got it! Yeah, like I thought, it's no mistake that Nagito was gripping the spear. However, what's important is what section of the spear he was gripping.
I see! That's it! Instead of the handle, Nagito must have been holding on to the cord. There was a metal weight at the tip of the cord, but there were bloodstains on that part too. Plus, the joint between the weight and the cord had a bloodstain shaped like it was cut off by something.
Isn't the size of that cut-off section about the same size as a human fist?
Ah, you're right. So this is the part Nagito was gripping, huh? And then the blood that was supposed to end up here ended up getting on Nagito's left hand.
But why is it so important to know which part of the spear he was gripping?
You're not gonna say he gripped the tip of the cord, swung the spear around, and stabbed himself, right?
That is where the clue to solve this mystery resides. Right, Chiaki? I am sorry. Of course this mystery will not be solved that easily. It seems we are stuck. Shall we have tea time?
At a time like this, how about we stick to the plan to think one step at a time instead of expecting the answers all at once?
That's a long plan name.
One step at a time? What does that mean?
Let's focus on the spear first. Namely, where it was and how it was positioned just before it impaled Nagito.
How it was positioned.